Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast.
We're here in the WWE Performance Center. Sam Roberts, Katie Linendoll, and look who's back, Finn Balor.
He's back.
Finn, what's the haps?
The haps are, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
We got Cocoa Beach show tonight.
Yeah.
We're just after being in the weight room earlier on this morning, lifting lots of weights, getting jacked.
Yeah.
See how he's like, we just went in the weight room.
Yeah, he's like,
It's just over there.
That way.
No big deal.
Yeah, I was in there too.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
It's like jacking up
Using
that
the
keg.
restroom.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Bathroom's through there, right?
Yeah.
How do you like, though? You got Cocoa Beach tonight, you said?
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach holds how many people?
I don't know, I think maximum capacity might be like 220.
Okay, so you got 200 people.
Yeah.
What's it like to go from Brooklyn, where you got 13,000 people, back to Cocoa Beach, where you got 200 people?
Believe it or not, for me,
Yeah?
I really enjoy it.
You do?
Because, yeah, it's more like intimate, you know? And, you know, you can really kind of have almost like a personal relationship with each and every fan that's there.
Sometimes it's so intimate too, you can have almost a personal relationship with the facility.
Well, that has happened before in a little town called Lakeland.
Yeah.
Where
You
I
penetrated the ceiling.
Well, choose your words wisely, Sam.
We're talking about being intimate.
The segment's already reached an all-time low. Great.
What? I mean...
Dude, if that wasn't a push-through ceiling, you'd have been effed.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it was, I won't say that it was an accident. But I was aware that the ceiling was, you know, a little lower than normal, so I thought, you know, might as well test the boundaries of what we're doing here in this business and see if we can literally blow the roof off.
Let's revolutionize the business tonight
Yeah.
and tear the house down.
Yeah.
So do you are you in the ring, are you looking up and be like, wait a minute, I think those tiles are pushed through, or do you figure that out before the match?
Well, I just hoped. Yeah. No,
this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, I hadn't been in the ring before the show. You know, we got there late, and yeah, it was straight into the ring, and it was really only when I got up on the roof and I could kind of smell the dust you know, on the ceiling. I was like, well, I'm close.
Like there's asbestos emanating from here. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah. Did anybody say anything after that? Like that was dope?
No, well, the interesting
The internet
part,
did.
Yeah.
The interesting thing was like one of these turnbuckle pads that actually came off during the match, and there was a hole still left in the ceiling from when it went through. So just to annoy the referees, I took the foam pad and like chucked it up in the ceiling.
Speaking of referees, I hate to go here this early, but
Here we go.
Yeah, you heard about this, right?
Yeah, what's it called? Refgate?
That's right, Refgate.
Yeah.
It's
I woke
sweeping the
up one
nation.
morning and I get #Refgate all over my
Right.
Twitter.
it's a
Well, because
very
you're here.
serious
I was very
issue.
curious as to what was going on.
Well, the referees in WWE are not doing a great job.
Not
I
doing great.
you've got
I
the-
disagree.
Well, that's because you've got the title, and
Not doing a
Katie
great
told
job.
me
Yeah.
that Tyler Breeze is the rightful champion.
Well, and it was like a game of telephone because I had to hear it from the people.
The people.
You know?
Yeah.
They know the Refgate issues that are ongoing, and then, you know, when it's 2, 3 in the morning and I'm getting DMs from people in Texas, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first introduction to Refgate was as this so-called incident happened. I think it was in Austin with me and Tyler. But is this something that's been going on like previous?
Keep up.
Okay.
Keep up.
Okay, sorry, I'm not one of these people
we'll
that
get you a
pays
Refgate
attention
shirt.
to. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some main roster stuff. It was the first instance we saw it on NXT.
Okay.
But I mean, there was a lot of main roster stuff happening, and then when it traveled down to NXT, we said this is not good because this is where the referees
Yeah.
are supposed to come to train, and if these are the bad habits they're learning in Florida.
Well, you know, we've an excellent referee here, Sean Bennett. It's our head referee. And
Oh, I know Sean
I do
Bennett.
believe, you know, his tweet went a little bit viral, and
Yeah.
you know, he solved the Austin, Texas Refgate.
Well, he defended
problem.
himself. I don't know if he was his own judge there, so I don't know. He had a little
It's
bias.
still up for debate.
Yeah.
You might have won this one, but our voices were heard.
Yeah. So speaking of wrestling in a little room like Cocoa Beach, you probably like that better because you must know how to react with every crowd there is. I mean, you've worked in basically every conceivable room already before coming here.
Pretty much.
It is. That's right?
Yeah.
So, but you prefer the smaller rooms?
I wouldn't say I prefer anything. I just like variety.
Right.
You know, and if you get kind of any kind of consistent, like anything consistently the same all the time, like, you know, it just kind of gets kind of stale. So like, you know, having that variety here at NXT is brilliant. You know, we get to do all the local stuff around Florida, which is, you know, more intimate stuff. Then we go on the road at the road shows, and it's a little bit more wild crowds. And then we do obviously the special in Brooklyn was incredible. You know, do that big arena. So variety is the spice of life.
It is. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I like the variety too, because what's fun about you as an individual is you kind of throw out these wild cards sometimes, and you keep things. You're so well media trained, and everything's so consistent. You never mess up, but then you get this kind of wild card here and there, where like you're in front of TNA headquarters and you're doing a suck it, and like you know thousands of people are retweeting it.
Yeah.
Or you respond back to Matt Hardy and say, hey, you know what, we're in a field of mud. We don't have time to play your games.
Right.
Just like these funny little things that kind of keep you on the edge.
But how do WWE officials react to you posting a thing on Twitter where you're crotch chopping in front of TNA's headquarters?
You know,
It was
I
really well
think
received.
It was, everyone kind of realized that, you know, and took it for what it was, and it was just a bit of fun, you know.
Was it good?
It was literally a complete potluck. We arrived in Nashville, they dropped us off at a gym because we had 4 hours to kill. The gym was below the TNA office. By coincidence, the bus like pulled up right outside the sign. I was like, that's a TNA sign. Ding! Like, you know,
Nobody on the bus, like driving the bus, like, wait a minute, I don't know if this is the best gym to go to.
All the boys were like busy, you know, pulling their bags out from under the bus and stuff. And I had
You
one,
saw opportunity.
I had one thing on my mind: retweets.
Yeah, you're a social media baby.
Yeah.
What's up with the tweet you sent about and tag CM Punk?
Oh yeah, that was just a little
Just
bit
a fun
of fun
UFC,
too.
whatever?
Yeah. I think he was trying to pawn myself and my good friend Grado off against each other, and I was just kind of making him aware that myself and Grado are actually good buddies, and you know, we might come after UFC.
It's weird. I feel like wrestling is very weird now, but I think it's kind of the culture. Like in the 90s and the late 90s, people in general were very sort of cutthroat and competitive, and people who were trying, whereas now, and you wouldn't see WWF guys and WCW guys kind of joking around. It was like, we're fighting for our lives here. Whereas now, you've all kind of come up together and you've just filtered out in different directions.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys aren't really afraid to say, no, we're all buddies, and if he's doing well and I'm doing well, then we're happy about it.
Yeah, I think like definitely the internet has kind of brought everyone together.
Right.
You know, and you know, it's a tool that we should use to our benefit. You know, to create interest with the fans like all around the business, not just, you know, one particular company. So, you know, maybe if we can poach a couple TNA fans or UFC fans, you know, why not?
When did was it as soon as they signed you that they realized that they needed to take some of the stuff that you've done before and put it in? Like some of the stuff that Fergal Devitt did needs to be reflected in Finn Balor. Like obviously, Balor Club is somewhat similar to things you've done in the past. Like
really?
A little bit. I don't know if the
it
color
might be
scheme or I don't know. Something is reminiscent of something.
I don't get what you're talking about there, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know, or this thing. I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if it was a conscious decision for them, you know, to kind of, you know, reference my past or whatever, but you kind of can't ignore what's right in front of your face, you know.
Right. Is it like so people start showing up to NXT with their homemade Balor Club shirts on?
That's exactly what
But I
was
feel like you
happening,
also
know?
can't ignore the fact that I feel like now you're kind of differentiating yourself paint and off paint a little bit more with the music changes, with the entrance changes. Is that key for you to make that separation?
Absolutely. You know, it was always something that was very separate before I came here, and it was when I came here, the lines kind of got blurred a little bit, and the non-painted version was almost like a toned down version of the paint, and I wanted to kind of separate the two again, so that's the direction that we've been going. And
so this is like different characters.
Yeah, it's
all
two
together.
separate different people. Yeah.
Which one do you like performing as better?
Actually, right now I'm kind of liking just being myself, you know.
Fonzie Finn Balor with the jacket
Fonzie
on.
Finn Balor.
Hey.
What's the little kind of lizard guy people keep sending me on Twitter that he like flaps his wings like that and he has sunglasses on?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
drugs
like
you
something
smoking,
from
Finn?
it's something from the Muppets. I think.
Oh, I
Beaker?
don't know. I don't think it's Beaker. I'm not too well versed on the Muppets though.
Yeah.
I only watch serious adult stuff like pro wrestling. I don't watch Muppets and kid stuff.
I want to go back to the variety of different arenas that you've been to. If you could say that you missed one thing from Japan, what would it be?
Cork and Hall. An actual arena?
At all of Japan.
I was about to say Carl Anderson's going to be upset by that answer, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Because I want to hit you with several of these. So
I miss Carl Anderson. I miss the food out there. I miss the crack with the boys. Because I had a lot
just
of
to be clear, crack is a
fun
Fun.
term
it's not crack.
regards to.
So what we're saying
They'll
here
leave us
is
on TMZ.
crack is fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's CRAIC.
Oh.
Yeah, it's spelled differently. It's an
Right.
Irish term.
Switch gears. Something you miss about Ireland.
Ireland family, fresh air, countryside, mountains,
One thing you like about Orlando.
performance center.
How many minutes did it take being in Orlando to realize that this is like the harbinger to the end of society?
How dare you, Linendoll?
I haven't figured that out
It's
yet.
not a question.
I will say that the moment I stepped off the plane, I came straight from Tokyo to Orlando for my first day here, and the moment I stepped off the plane,
You saw a bail bond shop.
no, the humidity hit me like
Oh,
like a
right.
smack, and I couldn't understand why like humans had set up a civilization, city, like a whole infrastructure here, because it's the middle of August. But I'm starting to acclimatize to it a little bit.
You're getting the hang of it a little bit.
Getting the hang of it.
When you started, I mean, obviously you couldn't help but break out the Two Sweets.
Yes.
As Finn Balor, what does Triple H think? Because the Two Sweet goes back to the NWO, which started with the Click,
Yeah.
and Triple H, who's now your boss.
Yeah.
He embraces you and like Kevin Owens and the Young Bucks are still doing it. All the
Can I say one thing about the Young Bucks? So when I was going back through videos and learning all about the Young Bucks, when you first introduced them, this is one of my favorite moments in the timeline. You said the Young Bucks, and I thought you said Young Books, and I was like, that's really educational. Good for you. So I had that
They're
wrong for
people.
quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they're
and
not
me,
books.
yeah.
They're not books.
Actually, a point that you didn't realize there in that promo, I actually called them Matt Book and Nick Book.
Oh, that's
the
right.
Young Bucks. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. So I just always call them Matt and Nick. I wasn't sure if they were using Jackson or not. So I just said, Matt Book, Nick Book.
Books.
That's not a name.
It's educational. It's great.
But
Sorry, I cut you off.
What does Triple H think of you kind of bringing
You know
back
what,
the Two
that's-
Sweets?
Yeah, that's interesting because we haven't actually ever had that conversation.
Really?
And it was something that
Come
when I came,
on.
honestly, and it was something that when I came here, I thought like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And he threw it up one time, so I'll give you two. Cool, yeah, man. And then I consciously stopped doing it like in the ring. But then like so many fans were like throwing it up. I said, I'll give you one here, I'll give you one there. And then it was just came all the way back. So
Right.
Can we add to that too? Because we've been at, was it Philly or Albany? Albany, where you actually threw up little Triple H.
What do you mean?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Remember
It was,
before, right when he came out, it was actually really interesting. We should step back in that moment for a second because it was a true sign of your character in the sense that we were in Albany. This was on the road, one of the first NXT on the road,
Yep.
and the music wasn't working.
Yep.
Yes.
And the arena was so hot; it was like an inferno.
Yes. It's like Florida.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it was Tyler Breeze was already at the ring, and then we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And a true sign of your character was you just decided to come out without the music, and here the fans just kind of filled in and gave you like a homemade version.
Right, they were just like, dun, dun, dun.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
But then after that, you come to the ring, music finally kicks on, and you Triple H'd it.
Yeah, so what happened was, I guess it was a triple threat. Tyler came to the ring first
Yes.
with music.
Yep.
Right as he got in the ring, the sound system shut down. And it takes like 5 minutes for them to like reboot the whole system
It
in the
felt
arena.
like an eternity.
So I'm standing behind the curtain ready to go out. And the producer, Sarah Del Rey, and I said, Sarah, will I go? And she says, no, wait. So I'm like, I'm waiting. It's like 1 minute. It's like 2 minutes. I'm peeking through the curtain and I can see Tyler kind of go, oh man, what's going on here, And he's kind of giving it this to try and get the people going, and keep them in it and stop them losing it. And like, it's 3 minutes, now it's 4 minutes. And Sarah's saying, no, wait, they're trying to get it. I was like, And I just felt like I have to go because even if I waited for the music and then the music came on, I thought I would have got booze, Just because I'd look like a prima donna for waiting for the sound system to go out. So I said, hell, I'm going. Just went out and I kind of went, I'm sorry, whatever. But it turned out like been pretty cool. What happened was the building was so hot, and I spoke with Kevin afterwards. Kevin was actually making his entrance, and he was up on the stage, and I just like motioned to a fan and said, hey, give me your water, So like he chucked a bottle and I caught it and took a sip of water, and it was like in that instant I thought, oh, Triple H spot, you know. So I stepped out onto the apron and I hit it. And I actually felt really bad because I kind of stole a little bit of Kevin's thunder on his entrance, you know. That's probably why he hates me.
I didn't even remember that.
Still,
Yeah, he even came out at that point, so you did.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Almost a year ago to the day, I was down here.
Yeah.
And I was filming stuff for another thing, and they were doing some media event, but there were a bunch of you practicing and doing like classes and stuff like that. And so I started shooting the rings and stuff, and it was you and Hideo and Kevin Owens, and you were all just in class.
Yeah, we're in this ring right behind you here,
Yes.
and we're rolling, and like we're looking at each other going, Kev, what are we doing here?
yeah.
And like Hideo's going, oh, Nanny, I don't understand.
That's what I'm like.
I was like,
so
yeah,
I'm
be
like,
fine, boys, just trust them. I'm sure they know what they're doing, you know?
because I'm like looking in the ring, and I'm like, these are the sort of the most buzzworthy signees that they've gotten in a long time. Like those are the three
Doing
guys.
drills.
And they're rolling. Like it's just like how many roll, and you guys were almost like, it seemed like just. Well, having a crack, is that how you would say it?
Crack.
Having
Like,
a crack,
you were just like rolling as many times as you could. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
What's the transition like when you're in the performance center to go from being in just a drill class to being the heavyweight champion within a year?
It's not so much a transition, you know. I think it was a very good experience for myself, Kevin, and Hideo to come in here and be treated just as everyone else, you know, and not to be kind of the red carpet rolled out and kind of, oh, here's these three big guys that have done like stuff elsewhere. Because really, when you come in the door, that's the door you come in, right behind us, and like everyone's the same, you know. You got to start from scratch. You got to work your way up from the bottom, and that's what the three of us have decided to do. So.
And what do you have to do? Like, do you have to go to classes for a few weeks and be like, guys, like I think we're ready for TV?
Believe it or not, the protocol is that everyone that comes in, you know, there's a lot of adjusting to the performance center with the schedule. You know, the weight training's a lot different. You know, and you know, promo classes and everything, and it's very busy. So what they actually do is they keep you out of the ring for the first month.
So you were out for a month just watching?
Yeah, I sat right behind here, watching this ring and the rookies ring, and we just watched the rookies roll, and myself, Kevin, and Hideo would just sit there watching the rookies roll. And to be honest, the three of us were like nudging each other, going, "Man, this is great. My body feels great. I haven't had this much rest in like years, you know."
Yeah.
So, switch gears too, and now if somebody knew your agenda and your schedule, it's like playing Tetris. There's no, if people knew how much work you're doing day in and day out, it's intense.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that in terms of the weekly agenda that you go through? It's not just being at a show, it's being at class, it's being at drills, it's being on interviews.
Yeah, well, it's
traveling.
Yeah, Performance Center's Monday to Friday, like every week. Then we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we got live events. Sometimes they're on the road, so we don't either come back till Sunday or Monday morning. Then we got what we're doing here, which is in the afternoon, in between training and a show.
Right.
And you know, we got promo classes in the evening. We got all the other media stuff we got to do. So it's.
And just to even put that in a bigger
and
snapshot.
I haven't ran my errands yet for last month myself.
Gotta do laundry, gotta go grocery shopping.
Yeah. Text my mom back. I'm like.
So I think that's what maybe people don't realize is that as much as you don't have to be on the road like the main roster does, just traveling all the time, you're just as busy because they got you.
Yeah, they got us. Yeah, they got
well,
us.
and
Hook, line,
also,
and sinker.
on the flip side of that, can you, for example, like Beast in the East, when you were traveling, what was that 72 hours like for somebody that doesn't know anything about what happens behind the scenes, starting in Orlando?
Starting in Orlando, flew to wherever Raw was, which I think was Washington. Went to Raw. Next morning we woke up, flew to Singapore, which was 24 hours.
Straight?
We actually stopped off in Tokyo for like 3-hour transit. We landed on the morning of the show in Singapore. So we had like 4 hours of sleep in the morning. Got up, worked the show in Singapore, went straight to the airport after the show, flew to Tokyo, landed the morning of the first night in Tokyo, slept for 4 hours. I worked Chris Jericho, had dinner, slept, turned up at the arena at 9 a.m., got painted for 4 hours. Media, paint, worked Kevin in the title match.
Right.
Slept for 4 hours, flew straight back here.
Give this guy a nap, people. A nap.
So what do you like better though? I mean, because with that schedule comes the glory of getting to go to Japan and getting to have this spot on Beast
I don't
East and all
know.
that stuff.
Do you even know you're in Japan at that point?
Well, I mean, you do get a pretty prime spot. So, is it better to be able to sit down for a month and not do anything and just watch people roll around in the ring, or is it better to go
I know
and
that
have
was
to
that was a softball.
film a commercial with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'm going to stop you there. Hold on. No, we can do better than this, Sam. Because the question is, what is the schedule that you had in Japan so different than that? Like, those are two different worlds, right? That's crazy. This is the crazy part to me. It's like having a lot more luxury where you were. Now you're like
No, I'm talking about right now.
Schedule.
I don't know what your
Like-
question
Sorry,
is.
I didn't mean to
You
bust
guys
your
are fighting
chops in.
amongst
Two different
yourselves.
questions.
We fight all day.
I mean, the before versus after. Like, would you like to go back to just sitting around and taking more time off, or do you prefer being busy?
No, I'm here to work, you know. I
Yeah.
didn't come to sit down. So.
Just nudge people while other people roll around?
I came here to
He's
kick
also in
ass.
Orlando, so he'd probably be rather working.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, Finn Balor, I mean, do you want to be on the main roster right now, or would you rather?
That's the question people keep asking me.
Yeah.
You know, but I really believe like that what we're doing here at the Performance Center, what we're doing with NXT is something that's going to be kind of remembered for years. And I feel like to get, you know, quote unquote, called up to the main roster would be maybe like a step back for my career, right? Like, you know, obviously instant gratification, yeah, you go straight up onto the main roster, that's great. But like, I think what we're doing here at NXT will stand longer in history,
Right.
as like a kind of revolutionary period, and like to kind of just pull myself out of that, I think would be, you know, detrimental to my career in the long term, you know.
Not dissimilar from when you're trying to figure out when is the time to leave Japan, because WWE is the spot, but like,
exactly,
I'm kind of doing huge things.
And you know, it worked out because, you know, a couple of years ago I had an opportunity to come to WWE, and it probably wouldn't have worked out because I was a lot less, you know, I was less ready.
Right.
There was less buzz about it, and there was no NXT to come to. So like, I don't know, perfect place, perfect time. I got lucky, hit the jackpot.
But I think I did do comment. Didn't you wrestle a match for Jersey All Pro Wrestling once in Rawway?
Yeah.
I did commentary on that match.
Oh.
But
I apologize.
That was before you were ready for WWE.
Yeah. That was 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Japan attacked East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember well.
Yeah.
I think in Jersey I might have wrestled in a 8-man tag. It was myself, the current head coach, Matt Bloom, who was wrestling as Giant Bernard, Carl Anderson, and my Apollo 55 partner Taguchi against probably Chaos, so it was Jado Gato, and maybe Naito and Yujiro.
What happens to you? Do you just have like when you wrestle for as long as you do and take it kind of as seriously as you do you just have a click-in wrestling memory where you just remember things like that?
No, actually, to be honest, the 15 years is a blur. But those,
So how did you know it's a Rawway 8-man tag?
no, because
So
that was
random.
yeah. You know, I only came to the States with New Japan once, and I specifically remember those 3 shows. So, you know, they're standout memories. But you know, you can ask me any match in Japan that I've done, and it's a blur.
Right.
Yeah.
3
I could have been
count.
wrestling the Michelin Man.
We have to end with 3 count random questions.
Yep.
1, why no tats?
Because of a short attention span, and I'd get bored of it after like 5 minutes.
Spirit animal.
It's giraffe.
Go ahead, Sam. You get the last one.
I don't know. If you could pick any kind of ice cream flavor, like anything's available to you, what are you doing?
On like a wall.
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The toppings
Or you
and
go and
stuff?
froyo.
I always go vanilla.
You do?
Always, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, dependable. Now you're not a part of the Breaking Ground show.
I'm not, no.
Are you disappointed by that?
Honestly, I'm on the fence. I'm really excited to see how the show turns out. But you know, being kind of a purist of this business, it's very abnormal for me to want to let people in.
Right.
And so I'm very curious to see how the show turns out and how it pans out and how it portrays the business. Whether I'm not upset that I'm not in it, put it that way.
But you're more of an old school thinker where you don't necessarily think it's a great thing to have everything exposed.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
I think there's a certain window we can crack,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, like, you know, showing the whole thing, which I'm sure they won't, and I hope they won't. But you know, it's been really cool, like learning curve for me, like getting used to like seeing all these cameramen around that, like, you know, aren't really involved in our business, kind of getting access to it, and kind of like getting personal relationships with the cameramen, and kind of like over time, like I've slowly began to trust them because they're there so much, you know, and even some of the cinematography, and it's going to be incredible because we were on the road I think we landed in Houston, and we're in the bus on the way to the arena, and like there's a minivan like flying along beside us, and I'm just like looking out the window going like, what's, and honestly I thought it was like one of those action movies where there's a guy with a missile launcher like hanging out the side of the minivan. I go, what is he gonna blow up? Like I thought it was
Like
TNA coming to blow up our bus. but it was one of the cameramen like on a harness like hanging out the side of the minivan like shooting our bus. So I'm sure the cinematography is gonna be cool.
What's the one thing that people don't realize that's part of the journey of going through the Performance Center that you think should be shown on Breaking Ground?
Oh. I think if people get a grasp of how hard the daily grind is, because, you know, people kind of see the glory, people see the TV show an hour a week, but they just don't realize how much work goes into it. You know? And if people can even like get a 5% understanding of the 100% of effort that goes into it, you know, it'll be worth it.
We did see a little with Demon Revealed on the network. It was a little mini docu on you. So perhaps not with Breaking Ground, but we did get an inside look. What is 2 things that people would be surprised if it was a little bit more in your life about you?
What would people be? I think people would be surprised that just if Breaking Ground was on me, probably how I don't really do anything else except wrestle. You know, it
better be a wrestling documentary if it's a documentary.
Yeah, you know, because like there's not much time to fit anything else in. You know, it's basically come here, go to a show, got 6 hours, I'm gonna sleep. You know, that's it.
There it is. Well, that's optimistic. Finn Balor.
Way to holding on to retirement, Sam.
Do you have hobbies outside? Do you want to do stuff outside of wrestling? Like if wrestling dried up for you, would
I
you
love
be
the
like,
Legos.
Yeah, I do.
Just
yeah,
build like.
I still play the Legos. Obviously, everyone knows that now. Like,
Yeah.
That was a big secret that I kept like locked up for a while, and the little documentary.
Come on, we need one more secret.
Give
us something good.
We found out about the vanilla ice cream. I mean, I don't know.
That was kind of boring, dude.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of hiking when I had a lot more free
No,
time
that's
working
no
for New
too.
Japan.
Come on,
Yeah.
something real.
Jeez.
Dive deep. It's like a psychology.
That's
That's
all I
harsh.
got, man.
He just
That's all I
wrestles
got.
all
I like
the time. He doesn't
rom-coms.
have a lot going on.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I like rom-coms.
You do?
Hugh Grant, yeah.
He's-
Pops me
he's-
every time.
Hugh Grant is like,
Underrated.
people don't talk about how charming he is enough.
Yeah.
He really is a charmer. You ever see that movie About a Boy?
Oh,
right,
it's
Sam.
my favorite.
I
You're
love
right.
that.
No Man is an Island.
Yeah, a little kid singing "Killing Me Softly." It gets me every time. Love that movie. Well, Finn Balor, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Hey, it's Sam Roberts. I hope you enjoyed that wrestling interview from Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. You can go to notsam.com to subscribe to that podcast. But I upload videos like that on this YouTube channel all the time. So if you don't already subscribe, subscribe now. It's on the side of the page. I made it real easy. Click the button. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the page.